Welcome back into Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head over to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into your search browser, subscribe to our page there. Of course, we are also free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, which includes Spotify, Odyssey. Download us easily today and then leave us a 5-star review. And of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Boy, there's a lot of revisionist history out there. Oh, I'm so glad that we didn't get into Deshaun Watson. Whoa. You're glad now that we didn't get into Deshaun Watson? Are you kidding me? Y'all a few months ago were all excited about the, you don't understand, Chuckery. Watson's this and he's that and all that. I'm like, wait a second. You got to give up the farm and a guy who we don't even know how long he's going to be suspended or this or that. No, you don't understand. We got to move on from Matt. We got to do Oh, now y'all are glad. Huh? Because that wasn't your attitude a few months ago about being glad to be away from Deshaun Watson. You guys were willing to give up the farm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of guy he is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now there's all this revisionist history about Deshaun Watson. Whew, wiping your brow. Man, I'm glad we didn't get involved in him. You were involved in him. Who are you kidding? First off, if you think your owner and your GM only had a casual conversation with Deshaun Watson, then you're nuts. Let me assure you, they went a lot deeper than just a Zoom call for an hour with Deshaun Watson. And it also ruined your relationship with your franchise quarterback, the most important player you've ever drafted in your franchise's history. You ruined your relationship. Well, they had to rip the band-aid. No, you could have played with Matt for another year, or you could have gotten more value out of Matt, but because you screwed it all up in your front office and your owner and GM and everybody lied to you about it, and they lied, oh, it was time to move on. No, Matt moved on from you. You didn't move on from Matt. And I'm saying you as the collective to a lot of the Falcons fans that were ready for all of this to go down. You were all excited, give up the farm, we don't care, this, that, and the other. Now, when you start to peel the onion back and pull the skin off the banana and see that it's rotten fruit inside, and we're going to get Watson's hearing starting today, where I think at a minimum, he's going to get a year suspension. That's going to be the minimum I think that this arbitrator or this director of discipline or whatever is going to hand down. The NFL's not going to let him play this year. Because once that person, I think her name is Sue Robinson, the judge who's going to handle the case today, once she comes down with that verdict, the NFL can still go in there and do what they want to do to him. They're not going to let him play this year with all of this hanging over his head and the black guy to the. Now, you can think that's fair, unfair, whatever like that. We can have that discussion. And I hope the league penalizes the Houston Texans as well. And not with some fake, phony $100,000 fine and community service. No, they should go in there because they were enablers in all this. And the NFL doesn't want these final four people to really get their story out there on them streets and tell them what the real deal is and what Watson was involved in and asking to have done. But y'all were all ready. Miss me with this whole, oh, I'm glad. I don't want to hear anybody say that because y'all were all ready. I wasn't. I thought the price was too high. I didn't like the idea of not knowing his suspension. Why do you think the Browns rigged his contract this year to only make it $1 million salary this year, knowing that he was going to miss a significant amount of time? And I'll even conspiracy theory it even further. The Browns don't have to hang on to Baker Mayfield, and the Browns can eat some of that money. They also realize that we probably won't have a quarterback this year, and we're a Super Bowl contender, and we got a roster that absolutely should make the playoffs. Now, I want to talk to you about my friends here at rockauto.com. Listen, you're in the repairing your vehicle business on your own, right? I mean, a lot of guys like to do this on the weekends and things like that. I'm going to change my oil. I'm going to fix my brakes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, right? Listen, why go to one of the big box stores and pay full price for all of that, right? And if you're just a regular retail customer and you go to a box store, you're going to pay a premium for all of it. So listen, rockauto.com saves you time and money. You're going to spend 30, 50% or more on all of it. You want a fuel pump, you want this, you want that. Go to rockauto.com. It's a family business. They've been doing it for over 20 years now. Reliably low prices for the customers, and you're not paying the big premiums by going to a box store. So go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or your truck. Once you find out what you need, get it set up, get ready to purchase. I want you to put locked on in the how did you hear about us box, right? So they got a box that's going to tell you, how did you hear about us? Put locked on, LOCKEDON, locked on, so they know that we sent you over there. So they've got an amazing selection. They've got everything that you need. They've got reliably low prices and all the car parts you're ever going to need. It's rockauto.com. But this narrative now is cracking me up. And you're going to see the Browns are going to, I don't know that they're going to regret it because they've got Watson for the long term and they've got a bunch of their core and everything set up. But imagine where this franchise would be right now. You gave up all your first round draft picks and you had it. And by the way, if you think Deshaun Watson was going to go to an NFL team, and forget the $230 million guaranteed. Okay. Let's put it down into, let's go to Aaron Rodgers. You'd have had to give up $150 million guaranteed for a guy who's either going to have multiple years of not playing in the league, don't know when he's going to be available, and your franchise stinks. A stinky franchise with no draft capital. You know that whole Drake London, you wouldn't have all those guys. You wouldn't be able to have and we're talking about next year. Oh man, we could get Stroud or, we could get Bryce Young or Will Anderson. You wouldn't have all that. All that would be gone. All those draft picks that you think be all gone because it took 3 first rounders just to get, plus the $230 million just to get Watson in. It never made sense to start with, but that didn't sway y'all, did it? That didn't keep y'all from, we got to get him, whatever we got to do, we got to get him here. And now once that onion is peeled back, right, and we can look inside, it ain't so good. So when I hear people now come and say, boy, I'm glad we didn't get Deshaun. I'm glad we were. Oh, you were in that business. Oh, you were in that sweepstakes. And by the way, just a little nugget here. Watson was never going to come here. This team's not ready to win. They probably wouldn't have given him the kind of money. He was never going to come here. But he needed more leverage than just the Saints and the Panthers. The Browns always made the most sense because of their roster and what they needed. They are just a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl. This team ain't. Carolina ain't. He needed more leverage. He used the Falcons to get what he wanted. Hate to tell you, hate to burst your little bubble out there, but this thing was a disaster from the start. And it did have unintended consequences about how your franchise is. So miss me with your, I'm glad we're not in that business take anymore, because you were all ready to get in bed with Deshaun Watson. All right, we thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make A to Z with Mark Zinno your second listen every day, as, of course, Mark is back talking all things Atlanta sports, opinions you may not like, but you got to hear. You can find him on our YouTube page at Locked On Sports Atlanta. Subscribe to our page there. You can catch all the shows free and available there. Leave us a comment. 5-star review us on all of your favorite podcast platforms. We're able to download for free, Spotify, Odyssey, pick your favorite, find us there. And of course, give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. We'll be back with you tomorrow. This has been Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.